because I can't remember what I did last week.
Sounds like me.
All right. Let's see here. Okay, since it's 10 o'clock, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our presenter today, Jo. Jo began her career in real estate in 1997, successfully selling real estate in Iowa. She quickly rose to the top of her game after completing several designations, but the love of learning and ultimate training took her over after she moved to Arizona. She worked for several brokerages, training agents, and recruiting. Jo was a trainer for the local MLS for 5 years. She joined RPR in 2015 as their training manager. She really enjoys showing agents how to make more money in their business with this amazing tool. So I'm going to go ahead and pass this over to Jo and let her get started. If you have any questions, just feel free to pop them in the chat and we'll kind of follow along. And if we don't get to them while she's presenting, we will address them at the end of the presentation, so we can kind of have more of a discussion then. So with that, I'll let you take it, Jo.
All right, thank you so much for having me. I am going to stop my video so that you're not focusing on me, but actually what I'm going to be showing you today. I will come back on at the end and show my video again. Nebraska, I have a fond memory of that, being an Iowa girl. I also have a son that lives in Nebraska. So I get up there every now and then. I love Nebraska. It's got a lot of opportunities, and Omaha was always one of my favorite stomping grounds when I lived in Shenandoah. So it's a pleasure to demonstrate our platform to you guys. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'm here to help you any way I can. So let's go ahead and get started. So what we're going to cover today is we're going to talk a little bit about why we did a refresh. I'm going to show you the summary of all the changes that have occurred. We'll go into the home page, show you those changes, as well as the search changes, the search results, and also briefly touch on the commercial side of RPR. So why did we do a refresh? We're about 10 years old, and we had a sense that it was about time to upgrade our platform. So we really spent a lot of time looking at what our members were saying about the site. As much as they loved RPR, it wasn't perfect. And so that we could hear our members saying things like, you know, it's hard to find things. I don't know where to start. I need quicker access to my previous work. We heard from trainers, agents, through our help desk, member support, through focus groups that we did. And we took all that feedback and we listened. So here are some of the highlights that we came up with. We have new pull-down menus for quick access, so including quick links to marketing and research tools. We have residential and commercial all in one location just by using the toggle. We have shortcuts, which are what we refer to as guided learning. So it will literally walk you through step by step on how to do that particular task. So I will show you those as well. And then we also have new cards for easier navigation where you can expand and collapse the cards if you don't need them. On the search side, we consolidated the search form. It's more versatile, robust search filter options. More streamlined user interface, so it's easier for you to navigate and use right from the beginning. And we also have new filters that will give you the opportunity to really refine your search. On the search results, we now have a preview count, so you're going to know exactly how many showed up in your search. We also have multiple views. We have a list view, a photo grid view, and a map view. And we also have scrolling results. So you can now scroll through a list of 500 properties instead of having to go to different pages like you did in the old system. And then we also have check boxes where you can use to quickly print properties. So let me kind of briefly go through now what is RPR for those that are not familiar with RPR. RPR is Realtors Property Resource. It is NAR's technology company. We are a wholly owned subsidiary corporation. So this is a national database of parcel-centric property information. We have over 166 million properties in our database. And then we add in, on top of that, over 350 different data sets. So this would be things like deed information, mortgage information, school information, just to name a few. It is exclusively for realtors. You must be a member of NAR in order to have access to this at no additional charge. So this is a member benefit. It's part of your dues. So when you pay your dues to NAR, this is what you get in return for part of those dues. But because of that, the consumer or public does not have access to this. The only way they would get access to anything in RPR would be through a report that you would generate and then send out to them. So what we're going to cover today is we're going to talk about the homepage features. We're going to take a look at all the search features that you have, as well as the search results. We're actually going to go into a property and show you all of the details that you have access to. And this is on any property, whether it's on the market or off the market. We're going to show you how you can monitor market activity in your area. And then also show you where all of our resources are located so you can access the resources and learn more about RPR and how it can help you in your practice. Now there's two terms you're going to see in here. One is an AVM, which is an automated valuation model. This is an estimate that's calculated using only the public available information. Now there's a lot of AVMs out there in the market, and we all know where our clients love to go to get the value of their homes, but this is what an AVM is. Now we also have the RVM, which is the realtor's valuation model. So we take all of that public available information also, but we're adding in all of your MLS, active, sold, and off-market data. So we're combining these two databases together, which gives the highest accuracy of any valuation product out there on the market. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. Ooh, all right. So let me get on the right page here. All right, so once you've logged into your account, this is your home page. So this is where everything is going to show up. Up here at the top is your navigational bar, and this is static. It's always going to be there no matter what page you're on. So here you're on the home tab. You've got research where you can go in and do a property search, a map search, a neighborhood search, a school search. You can do a market activity search, and you can also access commercial site selection and map insights. Under the marketing, this is where you can prospect for residential clients, commercial clients. You can create a property flyer, and you can create a commercial property report. Now, one thing I do want to point out here. So not quite sure how your market is there, but I know most of the country is lacking in sellers. So if I wanted to prospect for residential clients, for instance, I could click on this, and it's literally going to walk me through step by step on how to prospect for either buyers or for sellers. So if I wanted to say, click on sellers, it's going to now tell me to come up here and click on research. Then it's going to tell me to click on map search, takes me into my map, and make sure I'm on residential. So it will literally walk you through step by step on how to search for potential sellers or buyers, okay? You can also do the same thing down here under your shortcuts. So if I click on shortcuts here, it does the same thing. But literally all of these down here under the shortcut bar are step by step on how to do a CMA, look for opportunity zones, do an investor analysis, create a report, search a map, and prospect for clients. So take advantage of the shortcuts as you are learning to use RPR. All right, up and next we have reports. So here's where you can turn the bell on or off. So if you're in an area or you have someone that's sleeping and you don't want the bell to ring, which sounds just like a doorbell, you can turn it off or on here. Create a CMA, and then you have access to all of the residential reports and the commercial reports here. The number just shows what reports I have generated so far today. The Learn, this is also another place where it can help you learn how to use RPR. No matter what page you're on, as you can see, this is static. You can see my page is scrolling up underneath. So this is going to be here. So whatever page you're on and you don't know what to do, click on that Learn, and it's going to give you resources to help you learn what to do on that page. whether it's little videos, here's some more videos, here's top questions, here's realtor insights, more ways to learn, and search quick answers. So we've got a lot of ways that you can learn RPR on your own. And so take advantage of that information. We also have help where you can type in a question, or if you don't know what an RVM is, you can type in that and hit the search, and it will pull up all of the articles that we have written on RVMs. So take advantage of that. You can call us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can do a live chat with our member support, or you can even email them if you have a question. And then here's where you can access our resource center also for all of our training materials. Under My Work, anytime you save a property or save a search or a report or notes, all of that can be accessible right here under My Work. So you can click on that and it will take you right to those saved properties or searches. Also, you've got your picture here, or it may be your initials or your name is in this little box here. But if you click that down arrow, this is where you'll have access to your profile and settings. So I recommend that you come here first, click on profile, and it takes you into your profile and settings. You're going to come down here where your photo is. Now the photo is important because we want to put that on the cover page of all of our reports. So when you send out a report through RPR, it's going to have all of your contact information on the cover page as well as your photo. So they're going to be able to put a name and a face with your information. So where mine says change photo, it'll say upload photo. Click on that, locate where your photo is on your computer, click on it, click open, and it will log it in. Now you can go ahead and crop any way that you want just by pulling it in, and then you can crop your photo and then just click OK, and then that's what's going to show up in there. All right, make sure that your contact information is correct. Put in a title, whether you're a realtor, a broker, a salesperson, your team name, any of that information can go in here, all right? I'm still a licensed agent here in Arizona, so I still have realtor in there. Also put in all of your office and brokerage information. You can add phone numbers, email, and websites. And if you need to add more, just click on add more, choose that drop down and select what type on each one of those. Your MLS or CIE information should automatically be in here once you've created your account. And if you belong to more than one MLS or CIE, you can go ahead and select the state, put in your MLS, select the MLS that you belong to or CIE, and then also put in your agent ID and click add. One other thing I want to point out here, there is going to be a link where my mouse is. It's not showing on mine. But if you click on that link, it's going to show you all of the MLSs across the country that will share data with you. So if you have someone that is relocating out of Nebraska area into Iowa or Kansas or Texas or New York or wherever in the country, Alaska and Hawaii also, you click on that, pull up that state, and it's going to show whether it will show they share their active properties or off-market properties, or both. So take advantage of that, and that way you can help your clients anywhere in the country locate a school area. You can also help them locate properties in areas outside of your MLS just by clicking on that link and seeing if they will show those properties. And then you could do a search for those areas. If you want to put your license in there, go ahead and select the state, what type of license you have, and then you can enter that number. You can also add in up to 3 assistants if you are allowed that in Nebraska. You can do that. And then make sure that you receive updates and news, because we're always going to be adding new features to RPR. And we also give you lots of tips and tricks. So you will receive emails from us that will receive all that information in there. So make sure you do check that box. On the right-hand side, going back up, if you do use zip forms, make sure that you connect your zip form account with RPR. Let me go ahead and unlink my account. So you're going to see where it says link accounts here. Click on that. And what it's going to do, you're going to put in your username and your password for ZipLogic and then click sign in. It's going to say your 2 accounts, and then all you have to do is click link accounts, and it's going to link your 2 accounts together. All right, and then just close that window. I'm going to show you, it's going to access RPR and take all of that data and move it into your zip forms. And the one specifically that I like is the legal description. I don't ever have to type the legal description again, so which is really nice. Also, make sure that you have the correct time zone. So make sure that you have your central time zone identified so that when you send out a report, it has the correct date and time that it is sent. All right, I have Arizona, so I'll leave that there. All right, then the next one is settings. So click on settings here, and this is going to affect how your properties are going to show up on your maps and in your searches. So you can set your new listings. So it's going to show new listings anywhere from 30 days all the way down to 1 day. And you'll be able to see that identified on the map when I get there. And then you can also set your recently closed or your leased anywhere from 180 days all the way down to 7. So again, move that slider where you want it. You can also, if you dabble in commercial, you can do the same thing, set new listings as well as your closed sale and leases. Right below that, you have My Markets. So if you want to monitor a market in a certain area, let's say I'm looking to move someone to Omaha in a particular zip code or area, I can go ahead and type in Omaha, and it's going to give me a drop down. I'll just say Omaha, Nebraska, and you can see how now that has been added down here. You can also add in zip codes, particular zip codes, if you've got people moving into a certain area. If you've got someone that's maybe moving to Lincoln, Nebraska, you can do the same thing. So again, anywhere you've got clients moving to, this is a great way to keep track of what's going on in that particular area. All right. Once you've got all of that account information done, just make sure you come up to the top here and click save, and it will save everything that you have done on those 2 pages. Once it is saved, I'm going to go back to my home page. And I'm going to click on home here. I want to make sure that it saves here. And slowly but surely it will eventually here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just do it from home. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click on home here. And it will take me back to my home page. All right, so your location bar, this is where you're going to do all of your searching. Here's where you can easily toggle back and forth between commercial and residential. And you can see as I change, also the search criteria also will change based on which one you have. All right, so let's go ahead and put in a location. I'm just going to go ahead and pick on Omaha. And we're going to select Omaha, Nebraska here, okay? And then over here under type and status, you can look for properties that are for sale and for lease at the same time. And the default are these first 3 here. So if you don't want pending and active under contract, you could go ahead and uncheck those. So I'm just looking for active properties right now. You can also look just for public records if you'd like as well, where you can put in the sold date here, or you can click on this little icon here where it has the little calendar, and then I can click on that and it's going to give me the calendar that I can go ahead and put in this month, 30 days, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, or I can do a custom date range. Let's go back to the for sale and for lease. All right, property types. You can select all property types, or you can unselect and then just select what you want. I'm just going to go ahead and select the first 2 for today's demo. And then you've got price, and it always remembers what you did the last time. So let me go ahead and X out here just to kind of show you how this works. All right, so when you click in the box, it populates and gives you a drop-down list. So let's say I've got someone that is looking to purchase a property somewhere between 300,000, and then you can choose any one of these icons or solutions down here, and then it starts right at 300K and goes up. So now if I go ahead and type in a 5, You can see now it just dropped it down to 500, 525, 550, 575. But you know, our clients don't always get approved up to one of those numbers. So let's say, for instance, I've got a client that is moving to Omaha and wants a property, and they've only been approved up to 565. So I'm going to go ahead and type in 565. So you can now put in the amount that they are actually approved for and what they are looking for. So go ahead and put that information in. If you did select lease, you can do the same thing. So let's say we've got someone that might be looking, if they can't find what they want, they may want a lease. So I'm going to put in 1,500 to 2,000. All right. So now I have my price in there. You can also select beds, minimum and max. I'm just going to leave mine blank for right now, but you can click in there and it will give you a drop down. Same way with baths, just click and it will give you the drop down. But you also have filters at the end here. So if you click on filters, it's going to start showing you how many properties so far that you have. So I have 108 properties right now that meet my criteria based on what I have put in my filters. So you can make any modifications you want already that you have done. You can add your size here for beds and baths. You can put in your living square footage here. I'm just going to leave mine blank just because I want to show you everything that you have access to in your list. And then you can also choose by lot size or by acres. You can also exclude all distressed properties, or you can select one or all of the different types of foreclosed properties or distressed properties, such as short sale, notice of trustee, auction, and bank-owned properties. I'm going to uncheck those. You can also look for those agents that have designated an open house coming up, and you can do that search by clicking on here and putting in an open house date. You can also look for properties that have been deeded a certain land use. Clicking on that down arrow, you can see all the different types of land use that you have access to. So you can check what they're looking for there. You also have miscellaneous fields here where you can look for owner type and absentee owners. So again, come up here to marketing, and that will show you on the residential how you can use those right there. You can also search for owner name, year built, and then also select the time frame that they have owned. The top 25 keyword searches are right here. So if you are looking for something that has a pool, for instance, or maybe they want a view or a fenced yard, you can go ahead and put that and then just enter or return on your keyboard, and then you can see how that has been added. So you can select up to 6 different keywords here. I'm just going to go ahead and X out, but you can see the most popular right here. So once you have all of your filters, again, you're going to see how many properties came up in your search. All you have to do is click update and search, and it's going to take you over to your map view where you can see all the properties on your map. Now, anything that has that new means that that is a new listing within the time frame that you have set up there under your settings and profile. You can click on any one of those properties and view that details. So anytime you want to look at, you can look at those. You can also see here we've got an open house, so I can click on that one and it shows this one's an open house, so that it's easy to identify properties right from your map. You also see we've got some properties here that have a little heart on them. So if I zoom in here, you can see I've got a property with a heart and another property up here with a heart. So if I click on that one, this one just shows that I have saved it. So there's a great way to save it, and I'll take you in and show you how you can do that. All right, so those are just some of that. I'm going to come back to the map here because I want to show you all of these tools that you have here. Let me go back over here to the list view. So you've got 3 different ways to view your search results. So right now, the first one is the list view. And you can see you've got your little navigational breadcrumbs here to show where you've been. So you can go back to your property search. You're currently on your search results, and you've got 108 properties. You can sort your list either going down or up by any one of these ways. Okay. or you can sort by any one of these columns. So right now it's all being sorted by price. So if I want to sort the other direction, I could just click on that and it's going to resort my list to the most expensive. And here you can see I've got an open house coming up and I may want to schedule my showings around that particular open house. So other things that you will see here, I can go ahead and select all 100 properties or not, or at least the first 30. I can also just select a few of those properties. So if these are 3 that I want to send out to my client, I can go up here to print and print only selected or all results. And this is what it's going to look like. So you can see what it's going to show up as a list view. And then I can send that out to my clients. You can see what property type you have here. I'm going to uncheck all here. You can see the price. The date underneath is the date it became active in your MLS or RPR. If it's a closed property, it's going to show the status date that it closed. But if it's an active property, it's going to show the date that it became active. It shows the address, and then you've got your data here, beds, baths, square footage, lot size, year built, and lot square footage, or price per square foot. So as I scroll down here, here's a new listing. Here's another new one. Here's one that's going to have an open house. And then you can see the arrow right next to this one. And if you click on that arrow, it shows the price change history. So when it was first listed back in November of 20, it was listed at $539. And now in March, it went up to $545. Now this is a new listing, which you guys are so lucky. This is something that everybody across the country wished all of their builders would do as well, is to put their listings into your MLS. So you guys are really lucky. The country is jealous. So again, another open house here. Here's another price change history. You'll see multiple listings in here. So if I click on multiple listings, you can see that this was active right now. This one was canceled. You can click on the address anytime you pull these up and it will take you in and show you that listing. Or you can go back into your MLS and also take a look at that listing in your MLS. So in here, you're going to see coming soon. You're going to see other criteria here as far as distressed properties, open house, recently closed. All of that is right here, easy to access. Okay. Now, you can save a property. So if there's a property that you want to save, so there's a little heart here at the end of each one. So if this is a property that I want to go ahead and save for my clients, I've been through it, I know my clients are going to like it. You can click on that heart and it says save this property, and you can save it with the address, just hit save. And you can see now that that property has been saved. If there's another one, you can click on that. You can also give it a custom name. So if I want to identify this one for the Smith family and then hit save, I can also do a custom name. If you want to delete one of those also, just click on that heart again and then come over here and click delete, and it will take it off your unsaved. All right, so those are just some of the things up here. Up at the top, you've got mailing labels, print, and create a report. Mailing labels do not work for properties that are on the market. It only works for properties that are public records. So I could go ahead and create a report on any one of these just by clicking on that. All right, so let's go over to the photo grid view, which is my favorite. So again, you can sort your list by going either up and down any one of these ways. You have access to the mailing labels, print, and create a report again. You can choose to save it like I did on this one. You can also choose to print. So I can go ahead and click on that little box in there. And then if I go back up to print and click on print, it gives you a little different look here. So it actually shows you a picture of the property and then all the data right below that. So you have 2 different ways that you can send out this information and print it off and hand it to your clients. Again, create a report. So again, all this information is right here. If I scroll down here, let's see, it should, here. You've got the open house identified here. If the property has been raised or lowered in price, you have that little arrow here again. So I can click on that and it's going to show me my price change history on this one too. So you don't lose anything depending on which view you have accustomed or what you like. I tend to like this one the best when I'm working with clients, but again, it's all up to you and you have that choice. All right, so that is the photo grid view. And then the last one is that view of the map. And you'll have all of your properties identified on the map. And again, you can click on any one of those and then go into the full details. Let's go ahead and take a look at the tools that you have first of all, over here on the right-hand side. Up at the top here, you have your zoom in, so I can zoom into a particular area or zoom out. I can move my map around, so if I want to go over to Council Bluffs and see what they've got available for my clients, I can do that. Or I can go down here and go to Gretna, look anywhere I need to go to find properties for my clients. Now, sometimes we get to looking for things here. There's this little icon right here, right below the zoom out, which says center. And so if I click on that, it will recenter back to the original map. You also have full screen. So right now you can see I've got access to all my criteria here and I've got a lot of gray space around. So if I click on this, it now just gives me the map. So now I've got my tools over here on the right-hand side and my map in full view. In the upper left-hand corner, you've got all of your saved areas here that you can go back and revisit. I'll show you how that works here in a minute. You've got your show geographies where you can go in and look at different neighborhoods or school districts or zip codes or opportunity zones. So if I clicked on zip codes, for instance, I can go ahead and select different zip codes. So if I X out here, I can see the zip code here. If I want to select several zip codes, I can do that. So you have full control over what you want to see, and they don't have to be right next to each other. You can unselect and then also select another area here as well. Okay, so if you want to unselect, just click on it, unselect, click on it, unselect. But you can go ahead and search in those areas as well. Okay, neighborhoods. The intermediate, minor, or micro are the three most popular. Macro would just take you through the entire Omaha area. So if I choose intermediate neighborhoods, for instance, it's going to zoom in and then you can see the orange squares here. So I can click on that and it's going to show me one intermediate. Here's Sunny Slope. Here's another one over here, Roanoke. So again, I have that same opportunity where I can search in two neighborhoods, or I can go ahead and select a different area here too. So again, use your map and search for those particular areas that your clients are looking for. If you don't see it there, you can always go down to minor. You may or may not see it. You may have to zoom out a little bit and see if minor, okay, so there are some minor ones over here. And again, I could search in those areas, create a market activity report or a neighborhood report. All right. And then there's also micro, which is the smallest, and it's going to really zoom in. And again, you can start seeing those neighborhoods and how they're identified. Here's Cherrycroft. Here is Keystone Heights. So again, use the map, use your different show geographies up here to help you. School districts, same way. Click on the school districts. And then when you click on those areas, it's going to show you that 9th through 12th school district. And then you could even search for properties right there. Okay. And you can also do multiples as well. So don't forget about your different geographies up here at the top. On the right-hand side, you've got view here. So you've got satellite view that you could look at, and then you can zoom in, use your zoom in tool to zoom into the area here. You also have aerial view, which will give you the names of the streets and the neighborhoods here. And again, you can move that map around until you find the areas that you're looking for. Click on view again. You've got the road view, which is the default. And then you also have terrain. So if you click on terrain, if you've got any mountainous areas or elevations, you can now start seeing this. And I find that a lot of agents like this because they can really spot those elevations much easier, and they kind of like the look of the map. So that's kind of fun. So again, take advantage of that on the views, okay? The next one down here is draw. Let me go ahead and zoom out here so I can see my whole map here. So let's go to draw here. And you've got radius, polygon, and box, which is probably what you have in your MLS as well. But we just recently added freehand. So if I click on freehand, a big pencil is going to pop up. And now I can go ahead and identify the exact area that my clients are looking for. So let's say we've got a client that really needs to be in this particular area. So I want to go ahead and identify that they don't want to be around Boys Town. They want to come up here and they want to be in this particular area. So again, you can be very exacting as far as where your clients want to be. And then you can search in this area, create a market activity report, or you can save it as well. So if I click on save, I can give it a name. So let's say Smith family area, and then hit save. And what it's going to do, it's now going to be up here under your saved area. So now if I click on that down arrow, I have the Smith family area. So I can click on that at any time. I have my map up and I can look at the Smith family area that I just drew. Okay. I can also create that market activity report, and I can also rename it if I've got another client. Now that I'm done with the Smith family, maybe I have another client that's looking at the same area. So you can reuse that. You can also edit, and then I could go ahead and just pull those out and add in a few other areas here as well. Okay. And then just click in the middle and then click done. And now it's been saved again. All right, so those are just some of the things that you can do on the map here. So you've got the drawing. Let me go ahead down to driving. And there's 3 different ways that you can do it. You can do it by travel time, by distance, or by traffic count. So let's start with travel time. If you know where they work or they want to be close to, you can enter the address, or you can take this little icon and move it around. So let's say they work at Boys Town. All right, and they need to be a certain distance. So I'm going to click next, and they're going to travel by car or by walking. We're going to do it by car. The time of the day that they go to work or to the recreational area, the day of the week that they go, and then the length of their journey. So let's say they don't want to be any more than 10 minutes from Boys Town. So I'm going to click on 10 minutes, click next, and you can see how the area has populated, which is eliminating a couple of my properties up here. Okay. So it just kind of gives you an idea, and then I can go ahead and save that area. I can also search in that area. I can also click on that and change that down to a different time frame based on what we are looking for. So if they said 10 to 15 minutes, I can click on 15 minutes now, and then it's going to show me everything that's within that 15-minute time frame. Okay. All right, so that is driving. Distance is also available here. So if I click on distance here, again, you can enter the address, or you can go ahead and move this around. So let's say they need to be at this intersection here, and then hit next, and then choose your radius. So let's say they want to be within that 3-mile radius. They want to find a property. So I'm going to click next, and you can see now I've got that 3-mile radius search. So now if I want to search in this area, I'll just click search, and all the properties will now populate the screen within that search area. And then I could go ahead and click in the middle again, click save. And let's say this is for the Teeter family, and then hit save. And again, that's going to be up here in my saved area. Okay. All right. The other thing that you have here also is traffic counts. So if you have a property that's backed up to a busy street, click on traffic counts, select the traffic counts that you're interested in, click apply, and your screen's going to be populated with lots of triangles. Okay, so you may want to select one or two, but you can click on any one of those triangles and it's going to give you the daily count that's going by that property. Maybe. All right, let's try this one again. And it's slow to come up, but you can kind of get the picture. So if you back up to a busy street, it's going to show you the number of cars that are going by on a daily count. So again, this could help your clients in determining whether they want to move into a house that backs up to a busy street. I'm going to go ahead and edit the traffic counts here, and I'm going to go ahead and clear my screen. All right, so that is under driving. Points of interest are coming soon, so do check back on that. There's a lot of great features in here that can help you locate clients that need to be close to schools, close to restaurants, close to the nightlife. So again, you have lots of opportunities here, and those are coming soon. Here's schools. So again, you can look for schools, public, private, or charter, elementary, middle, and high. Just uncheck whatever you don't want or they don't want, and then just hit apply. And you'll start seeing your screen populated with all of the little icons here. So if I click on this, it shows the name of the school and then it outlines that neighborhood. And then I could search in that area or create the market activity or even save it. Okay, let me go ahead and zoom out here. So again, look for the different schools here. You click on any one of those and you can identify those areas. Okay, so that is schools. Let me go ahead and clear. Data layers is also a great one. So again, based on the knowledge that your clients are needing from you, here are all of the data layers that you can cover. So if you have someone that is concerned about flooding, I can click on flood zones down here. That information is coming from FEMA. So I've got some flooding issues here along this creek. And then I can go ahead and go, well, looks like you're kind of safe with the properties that we have so far selected. If you click down at the bottom here where it says about this data, it does give you a definition. If you come up to the top here and click apply, down here at the bottom right, you're going to see the scale. And if you click more, it gives you that definition and then the source here. And this is updated on an annual basis. So again, use your data layers. Concentration, if they're concerned about distressed properties in the area, you can also reassure them that in this particular area, there is not a high concentration. There are some other areas that do have a higher concentration of distressed properties, but it looks like the area that they're looking at maybe does not. So again, use your data layers also to help educate your clients on the different areas that they are inquiring about. I'm going to go ahead and hit clear. And then down here, you also have access to the legend. So you can see what each one of those icons stands for on-market properties, off-market properties, and coming soon, new listing, open house, saved, as well as multiple properties. So take advantage of that information there. I'm going to go ahead and close that out. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and eliminate my full screen here and close that out. All right, so let's go ahead and just click on a property here. All right, so we'll go ahead and take a look at this one here. And I'm going to go ahead and click on the full details. And this is the type of information that you're going to be able to see on every single property, whether it's on the market or it's a property that is off the market. So you've got the address up here at the top. You can look at the photos. Here's the street view. So I can click on the picture here and I can take my mouse and literally go around the neighborhood to view this area. All right. You also have the overhead view. So you can see the overhead view of the property. You also have access to the historical photos. So you can scroll through and look at those. If the property also has a virtual tour or a 3D tour, you'll also see that in here and you can virtually watch that right from here. You've got the photos that the listing agent put in. Let's go back in your photos here. So here's all the photos. I can scroll through and look at the photos that the listing agent put in. I can also go into the bigger format and scroll through if I'm doing a virtual Zoom meeting with my clients. You can see it became active for sale, became active here on 4/9. All right. You can see what the list price is and what the RVM. And then you can always click on this little information bubble and it's going to give you the definition of what that RVM is. So take advantage of anytime those little information bubbles are there, take advantage of that. All right, then we've got all the basic facts about the property, more about the RVM. You've got the agent's information over here. You also have additional information. So each one of these is a card that has the 3 dots. So if you click on those 3 dots, you can expand the card and you can see what the commission compensation code is for that property. And then if you want to hide that, just click on those 3 dots, you can collapse it and you have access to that. Additional resources in here, you'll have Valuate if you're working with an investor. Here's where you can connect with your zip form transactions. You also may have down payment resources in here. You could also have showing time or Sentry Lock. So there's multiple resources based on your MLS that could also show up in this area. Here's the description the listing agent put in. Here's all the property facts, the public versus the listing. Also, there is an area here, and you guys are really lucky to have this. Not all MLSs do this, where you've got this little information bubble that's right next to the living square footage. And so when you hover over that, it tells you where that square footage is coming from, basement, finished, plus building area. And not everybody has that. You guys are really lucky to have that. And scrolling on down, you've got this information here. You can always make changes. So if there's something that is not accurate, you can go ahead and make changes. So the listing has 5. The public records has 4. So you can see there is a discrepancy there. You can always come down here and add another row. So if they have a mountain view or they've got a pool that you want to put in there, you can click on that and then just choose from the drop down, yes, they have a pool, and then make sure you hit save. That is going to stay in your account. No one else is going to see it. And it's going to be there until you come back in here and click on that little trash can and delete it. Here's all the listing details. Here's the school information, and you can click on each one of these schools to go in and look all the details about that school. Here's the price change history. You've got all the interior features and details, public. So all of this information, again, is on every single property, again, whether it's on the market or off the market. All right. On the right-hand side, going back up, you've got a lot of great information about the neighborhood. Couple that I want to point out, here's the median listing sales price, and this is coming from your MLS listing sources, updated on a monthly basis, and you can see what it is for the zip code for Douglas County as well as Nebraska. And then also here is the public, which means this is data that has been sold outside of your MLS. And you can see right now there's nothing being sold outside of your MLS. So congratulations to you. So take advantage of that. Financing information here, showing instructions. So historical records, you can click on the listing ID to go in and look at that. You can also add notes. So if you preview this property and you want to put in, let's say, nice floor plan, very open, and then just hit save. So again, you can put any notes in there. It can be included in your reports, or you can go ahead and trash them, or you can also go in and edit, but it always gives you the date and time that you did that. You can also add in your own photos if you'd like. And if you are working on a listing presentation, you can even put in seller's proceeds here. All right, so let's say, for instance, we need to go in, and I recommend that you come up here at the top and actually look at the history tab, which gives you a lot more information about the property. Go into the charts. I'm not going to take you there today. We're going to run out of time if I do. Refined value is great for when you're working with properties that are getting ready to go on the market, where you can put in all of the upgrades that they have done. But whether the property is on or off the market, you always have access to CMA up there or down here. So creating a CMA is very simple in RPR. There's two different ways you can do it. We're just going to do the first one here, which is more, it's easier to do. The sales comparison is a little more difficult. It's more like what an appraiser would do, where you would need to know what the extra square footage is worth, valued at in that neighborhood, or what an extra bedroom or bath is worth, what extra land is worth in those areas. So you need to know numbers. I'm just going to do the comparative analysis one. You get that little property summary up here at the top. So if I'm going to write an offer on this property, for instance, I'm going to come first of all and confirm the facts. Everything is okay. If you've added anything, it's going to show you that it is, and if you want to delete, you can always delete that too. Coming on down, I'm just going to hit confirm facts and close. The second step is to find the comps. So I'm going to click on that. You can see that the property type has already been identified for single family. So whatever it has in your public records is what's going to show up here. Your property type status or property status these are the three defaults, but you can unselect and select anything that you do want to use. You have your off-market date going back 6 months, but you can go in and change that just by clicking on the box, changing that date. It's going to look at beds, baths, and living square footage. It already has that filled in for you, but you can go ahead and add in an upper number or leave it blank either way. You've got your living square footage, which is about 10% on either side of your square footage of your subject property, but you can narrow that gap down a little bit just by typing right over the top and going down. You can do lot size if you'd like, by your square footage or by acreage if you're working with acres. You can also add your price range in, and then you can also use your bill. Now, before I hit search down here, you can see over here the map, and you can move the map around. So wherever your map is showing on here is where your properties are going to be coming from for the comps. You can always zoom out if you need to, or zoom in. You can also draw a shape, whether it be box, radius, or polygon, or use a custom area, or use one of the geographies, whether it be neighborhood or by school district. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it this and hit search. And you can see the properties. Now I can go ahead, come up here, and I can go, okay, this property has been on the market for $398. You can click on any one of these icons and it's going to show you that property. You can always click on more details to go in and look at it. I'm just going to click use as a comp. And when I X out here, you can see now that that property has been selected and is in my panel here. So you can select right from the map up here, or you can select from here. So right now it's being sorted by proximity, but you can sort by any one of these other columns here. So if I want to sort by square foot, I can click on that, and then I can review what my square footage is and go down to that area. So now I can go ahead and select the properties that are more closely associated with my property. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave it on these three just for demonstration purposes, but obviously you would take a little more time. And if you had any other statuses, you can see here's one for sale down here. Those are going to show up at the bottom. Okay. I'm going to come up here and click update valuation and close. And it's going to show the average of my comps. So now I can go ahead and click on adjust comps. You can see that I've got my three properties. You can see what the value of my property is here. If there's a property that's more closely associated, I think a better property maybe for my comp, and I want to put it right next to mine, I can go ahead and click on that drop down, go to first, and it switches over to the first position. So put them in the order that you want. You can also select which listing record that you want to use or public record. You can look at the photos just by clicking on the photos and scrolling through, looking at the photos, see how they do compare. You also have historical listing details on each one. And then how does this property compare to your subject property? So let's say this one's the same. Maybe this one isn't, maybe a little bit better than mine. And you can see when I just take it up one tick, it's either plus or minus 20%. And if I take this one down, you can see how it adjusts your subject property this amount up or down. Okay, so be aware of that. You don't have to use that. You can just keep them the same here and leave it as is. But then you also have the map that shows where your properties are located in relationship to each other. You've got the side-by-side comparison, a place for notes, and then you've got your update, valuation, and close. So this works on any property. Then just come down here and you can edit. So you can put in a value. So let's go ahead and make an offer for $380,000 because they do have some updates in there. You can do that, or you can go ahead and put in a range here. So if I'm thinking 360,000 here to maybe 370 and then hit save, maybe that's where we want to be. The last step is to create the report, and it's going to default to the report. You can see it defaults to the seller. If I was doing this for a buyer, I would come up here and do the property report and then have access to that. You can put in your own custom pages here, which is kind of nice to really customize it. Put information like a welcome letter, your testimonials. They can get a little more insight into you. So if you want to add your own custom pages here, just come over here where it says manage custom pages. I'm going to go ahead and delete testimonials here. Let's say I've updated that one and then I just hit save and you can see that one's now deleted. So again, it has to be no larger than 10 megabytes. You can upload 5 of them and they have to be in a PDF format. So I'm just going to click on add custom page, find my testimonials, click open, and it's now added. You can also go in and make any changes to the title that you gave it. So client testimonials, I can also do a drag and drop and put them in the order that I want. You can also select whether you want them at the beginning or at the end. And if you want one at the beginning and one at the end, or 2 at the end, you have that option. You can also view the page here. So take advantage of adding up to 5 that talks more about you and your business. Select the pages that you want to include. On all of our reports, you can always hover over and get the data and what that page looks like. And then coming on down, you can include your notes if you want. You can also suppress any of these values, the estimated value or the RVM or AVM for either the subject property or the comps. And then also down here, you can personalize your report. So if I'm doing this for Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and then I could go ahead and type in some kind of a message to them and then email this report right out to them or download it as a PDF, print it off, take it with me, and then I can hand it to them. And then just click run report and it will generate the report for you. This pops up. I'm just going to X out here. Come back up to the top and you can see that report now is being generated. So when I'm working with buyers, this is typically the report that I do for them with a CMA. If I'm doing it for a seller, I will do the seller's report. All right, so those are just some of the things I wanted to point out. The other thing I just briefly want to also point out here, let me go back to the property here. So send a report to yourself so that you can get familiar with all of our reports here. Come on, report, come on back. There we go. The other thing I want to also point out down here as well. So if I click on connect, start a new zip form transaction, select the type, purchase in this case, click OK. It takes you right into your zip form account and it's going to start loading into your forms. So you will have to load your forms. If you have templates, you can use that, but you can see how quickly it goes right into your zip form account. So kind of play with that, take advantage of that. It's pretty cool. All right. I know this is a lot of information, folks. Also, don't forget about the map up here too, that you can click on. Any single property that's on here, you can go in and look at all of the off-market properties or properties that are in the final stages or closed. So take advantage of everything that we have in here. It's just a lot of information, I'm sorry. All right, and again, whatever page you're on, click on that learn, and that's going to also help you in learning RPR. Also on the help, let me just go into the quick training area here. You can look at all of our resources down here under the learning. whether put in your different topics, webinar by date, click on the property or the class that you want, and you can watch all of our videos on demand. All right. Okay, Emily, that's a lot. I know. Sorry.
No, that was great. Yeah, people were very appreciative of this and they're asking some questions here. So that was
Okay.
good. They just want to, they said they learned so much. So this was fantastic. Let's see here. I kind of had to step out for a little bit, but are there any questions that anyone still has that they'd like to have addressed here really quick? I know that we're really cutting it short, but.
Just get in there and start playing with it. You can't screw it up. You can't break it. It's, and you can see that report now is generated. So it lets you know, and then you can just click on it and it opens up and shows you that report. So take advantage of that. When talking with agents across the country, whenever they're up against another agent or putting in for a buyer, when they're going up against other agents and using our RPR reports, it's usually sealing the deal for them, whether they get the listing, and lots of times they'll even get the buyer to get the purchase that property, because they can also give a report to the listing agent, especially if you've got a CMA in there. So take advantage of reports, make it work for you.
Do you have a quick question about bike trail overlays?
The what?
Bike trail overlays, are those coming, or did we miss did Janet miss those? She was curious.
On your overlays, I don't know if they'll have bike trails in there, but it's under the POIs. So points of interest, you can do that. I'm not sure that they'll be identified specifically, but they might be. I haven't seen the latest mock-up of it, so I really can't tell you, but I think they're coming possibly next week. So check back.
That's perfect.
Yeah, so
Perfect timing.
yeah, absolutely. All right.
All right. Well, just as a quick heads up, we do record these, so we'll make sure to get these if it's okay with Joe. I guess I'm not for sure what Christy has discussed with you.
Absolutely.
But,
you go right ahead. That's fine.
okay, fantastic. That's so great. Thanks so much to everyone for participating, and I hope you all have a great rest of your Tuesday.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.